The year 1914 witnessed the eruption of a conflict that would reshape the world. World War I, a cataclysm of unimaginable scale, continues to fascinate and horrify us. While history often points to Germany's aggression or Austria-Hungary's ultimatums, there's a crucial player often relegated to the sidelines: Russia. This vast empire, stretching from the Baltic Sea to the Pacific Ocean, played a pivotal, often overlooked, role in the events leading to the Great War. Early 20th century Europe was a powder keg of imperial ambition, nationalist fervor, and tangled alliances. The great powers, Great Britain, France, Russia, Germany, and Austria-Hungary, eyed each other with suspicion, their militaries growing at an alarming rate. The delicate balance of power, maintained for decades, was becoming increasingly precarious. The rise of nationalism, particularly in the Balkans, added further fuel to the fire. This volatile mix created an environment ripe for conflict, where a single spark could ignite a continental war. That spark came on a sunny June day in Sarajevo. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his wife Sophie were assassinated by Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian nationalist. The assassination sent shockwaves across Europe. Austria-Hungary, outraged and seeking revenge, saw an opportunity to crush Serbian aspirations for a unified Slavic state. They issued an ultimatum to Serbia, demanding concessions that amounted to a surrender of sovereignty. Serbia, backed by Russia, refused to comply fully, setting the stage for a wider conflict. Section 4: Where the Russian Bear awakens. Russia, bound by treaty and kinship to Serbia, viewed Austria-Hungary's actions with alarm. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand had set off a chain reaction, and Russia felt compelled to act. Fearful of the consequences if Serbia were to fall under Austro-Hungarian dominance, Tsar Nicholas II ordered a partial mobilization of the Russian army on the 25th of July, 1914. This decision was not taken lightly, as it meant preparing for a potential large-scale conflict. This seemingly defensive measure had unintended but profound consequences. Mobilization was a signal to the world that Russia was ready to defend its interests and allies. Germany, allied with Austria-Hungary, perceived Russia's mobilization as a direct threat. The German leadership, already wary of Russian power, saw this as a provocation. The intricate web of alliances meant that a war between any two powers could quickly escalate into a continental conflict. The balance of power in Europe was delicate, and any misstep could lead to widespread war. Germany, fearing a war on two fronts, issued ultimatums to both Russia and France, demanding they demobilize. The German strategy was to avoid being encircled by hostile forces. When Russia refused, Germany declared war on the 1st of August, 1914. This marked the beginning of a conflict that would engulf the entire continent and change the course of history. Section 5: A shared burden of guilt. While Germany's declaration of war is often seen as the final trigger for World War I, it's essential to recognize the shared responsibility of the major powers. The intricate web of alliances and treaties that bound these nations together meant that any conflict had the potential to escalate rapidly. Austria-Hungary's heavy-handed ultimatum to Serbia, driven by a desire for revenge and expansion, played a significant role in escalating the crisis. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was the spark, but the tinder had been accumulating for years. Germany's unwavering support for Austria-Hungary, coupled with its own expansionist ambitions, further fueled the flames. Kaiser Wilhelm II's aggressive foreign policy and military build-up created an atmosphere of tension and mistrust across Europe. However, Russia's decision to mobilize its vast army, while perhaps understandable in the context of the time, had catastrophic consequences. The mobilization was seen as a direct threat by Germany, which in turn led to Germany declaring war on Russia. It transformed a regional conflict into a global war, setting in motion the chain of events that plunged Europe into darkness. The alliances drew in countries from across the world, leading to a war of unprecedented scale and devastation. Section 6: History's Long Shadow. The outbreak of World War I serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked nationalism, the fragility of peace, and the ease with which societies can be swept into conflict. The fervor and excitement that gripped the streets of Europe in the early 1900s masked the underlying tensions and rivalries that would soon erupt into one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. The devastating consequences of miscalculation were felt on a global scale, with millions of lives lost and entire landscapes forever altered. The trenches of World War I became symbols of the horrors of modern warfare, where soldiers endured unimaginable hardships and the very earth seemed to bear the scars of human folly. While Germany's aggression and Austria-Hungary's ultimatums played significant roles in the escalation of tensions, it is important to recognize the complex web of alliances and political maneuvers that contributed to the outbreak of war. Russia's often overlooked mobilization was a critical catalyst in transforming a regional crisis into a global catastrophe. The decision to mobilize set off a chain reaction among the great powers, each bound by treaties and obligations that pulled them inexorably into the conflict. The lessons of 1914 remain as relevant as ever in our own time, reminding us of the importance of vigilance and the need to learn from the past. The echoes of history urge us to approach international relations with caution and foresight. Diplomacy and dialogue are essential tools in preventing the kind of catastrophic miscalculations that led to World War I. The efforts of diplomats and peacekeepers, though often overshadowed by the march of armies, are crucial in maintaining global stability. A deep understanding of the interconnectedness of our world is vital. In an era where global connections are more pronounced than ever, the lessons of the past serve as a guide to navigating the complexities of the present and future.